And Cordelia's like, I'm sorry, Lear, but like,
You're an asshole.
I have a duty to my fucking husband, and so you can't be my favorite because, I need to have my husband in mind. And so Lear's like, Cordelia, you better fucking do this, or else I'm gonna be fucking pissed. And Cordelia's like, sorry, dude, I can't do it. So Lear fucking gets so pissed that he fucking banishes her. Her and her fucking husband, France, or some shit. And Cordelia's like, but I love you the most. And there's like, fuck you, I'm in front of a court full of people and you're making me look like an asshole. So Cordelia goes out freaking far away. But all during this time, like, Goneril and Regan, they're kind of just conspiring against the kingdom, and eventually they're gonna freaking fight against whatever. So, all during the while, there are these two guys. There's the brothers. Their names Edward and,
Jacob.
No, Edward is, Edmund, alright? And I think freaking...
Who the fuck would name siblings Edward and Edmund?
And their fucking dad is named Gloucester. And Gloucester's like a main...
Gloucester's a place.
Main dude in fucking Lear's court. And, Gloucester's an old guy who has a lot of fucking money. And, Edmund and Edward are like all kind of, trying to, gonna inherit it and shit. And so Edward is the bad bastard son of Gloucester and some other, random chick that Gloucester banged or whatever. And he's a bad dude, so he's gonna make, Edmund look like a dumbass, so...
He doesn't understand.
Toner.
Edmund makes Edward...
Toner.
What?
Don't forget that.
So take a sip.
Edward and...
Wet your mouth.
Alright, I need to take a drink.
Wet your palate.
Let's take a drink every now and then.
So Edward and Edmund are like... Edward convinces Edmund to try to stab him when Gloucester's coming. And so he has this big freaking speech and is like, oh man, I'm going to make Edmund look like a damn fool. So Edmund stabs Edward, or he tries to, and then Gloucester comes in and is like, dude, you're freaking messing with my son. That's my son. You don't mess with him. And so freaking Edmund runs off, and Edward is like, dude, Edmund's a dick. Alright, I need to get all of your kingdom. Meanwhile, Lear is going to, Regan and Goneril's house with like 100 freaking knights, and it's just causing shit upon shit to happen. And so they're like, fuck you, Lear, I don't want you to stay here even though I'm your daughter. But dude is like, dude, Cordelia would take me in this shit or whatever, so like a fucking 100 knights, no big deal. And so they're like, well, you can't stay here. So eventually Lear just goes out into the freaking wilderness by himself because he's so pissed off at Regan and Goneril. And he's just like, how? And at that point he starts to go fucking crazy.
Did King Lear wear pleated pants by any chance?
King Lear wore so many fucking pants.
Pleated pants, right?
Actually, by this point, later in the story, Lear actually just goes freaking naked, and it's just like, nature, this is my penis, freaking roll.
He said that?
Yeah, he freaking said something like that. And so... All the while, Edmund is like, oh shit, I can't be in freaking court anymore because Gloucester is a prick and my brother's a douchebag. And so he decides to be a freaking crazy-ass dude named freaking Poor Tom. And so when Lear's going crazy and it's like, oh shit, I'm going fucking crazy because I'm crazy, he runs into... he goes into this cave. And freaking Poor Tom is there.
Toner.
Alright, I need to take more drink. And Poor Tom is like, I'm a madman, you don't know what to do with me. And Lear's like, you're freaking the wisest goddamn philosopher I've ever goddamn met in my whole life. And so they become bros. And all the while, whatever. So Edmund runs into freaking Lear, to Gloucester. Who has actually been blinded by Regan and Goneril or whatever.
What did they do to blind him?
Gloucester is just like doing something or whatever that made Goneril and Regan, because he thought that they were doing something wrong by kicking Lear out of the kingdom and that they weren't treating them well. So they were like, alright, so Goneril and Cornwall, I think who it was, they get Gloucester in there, and they're like, Gloucester, dude, you gotta step the fuck off about Lear, because, Lear's a douchebag and we're kind of the shit now. And so Lear, Gloucester's like, nah, dude, you're fucking up. I'm like, let's just get Lear back. And so they freaking go there and they freaking take out his eyes.
Like with their hands?
They freaking like take swords and shit and like get out his eyes. And freaking Edmund is doing this, and he's going crazy. Like, he's just going crazy and taking out his eyes. And so eventually Edmund runs into Gloucester and is like, dude, like, I'm your son, but I'm not because I'm poor Tom. And, you know, you're blind, so you don't know that, but, like, I just want you to know that I'm there for you. And so he's, like, gonna lead him to wherever Lear is.
He's gonna be his keeper.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
How you doing over there?
Something like that. And so...
1 minute, dude.
So Gloucester freaking falls off some shit, and Edmund is like, alright, you know, I'm gonna lead you to where Lear is because I'm awesome. And all the while, Edward is trying to bang, you know, the sisters and get more power that
Which
way.
sister? All of them?
Like, he's trying to bang Goneril, and he's writing letters to Regan, and they're like, oh man, we're sisters, we can't be fucking the same dude.
Oh, someone needed to call dibs.
Yeah, somebody didn't call dibs on him. And so eventually they all end up at this place, like, and Cordelia takes Lear back and was like, dude, I'm so fucking sorry. No, freaking Lear said that. He's just like, dude, Cordelia, I'm just so fucking sorry. He's just so sorry. He gets on his knees and he's like, Cordelia, I'm fucking, like, I just kisses her on the hand and is like, freaking Cordelia, you're this fucking shit, and you're like my best daughter. And I
That
just
sounds like really weird and incestuous.
I just want to be with you forever. And so freaking Cordelia forgives him because Cordelia's like a goddamn saint. She's like the best girl with France and whatever, and she's like, Lear, like, I'm gonna freaking take care of you forever. Until eventually, like, you know, Goneril and Regan come in, and we're fucking bitches, and we're gonna go whatever. And so, basically, yada yada yada, like, the story closes with, you know, Regan and Goneril both getting kind of knocked out, and, you know, Cordelia actually getting killed by Edward. And so Lear comes on stage with Cordelia's body and is like, oh man, freaking Cordelia, you were like the best freaking goddamn daughter that's ever existed. And so he takes Cordelia and he puts her down. He has this big speech and is like, Cordelia, you're like my best, but I'm sorry, I gotta go too. So Lear just fucking dies. Like, he just dies, probably a broken heart or whatever. And France steps in and is like, this shit is fucking whack, and so I'm gonna save the goddamn kingdom. And so that's like the basically, and oh yeah, and Edward gets stabbed and whatever.
And take a drink and give us your final synopsis.
So basically this...
Oh God, why would you say that?
Just like a couple of lines.
The story is about the conflicts of old age versus youth, and about pride, and, you know, civic duty, justice, the whole Shakespeare is going wild, time versus youth and whatever. And so what we should take away from it is that, like, you know, in the end, it's not about, you know, reputation, it's all about, you know, the relationships you've made.
Anthony, you're going to be a really good English teacher.
I'm awesome.
As long as you're drunk during class.
Yeah.